Hello, and welcome to the Frontend Developer Career Path here at Scrimba. Throughout this career path, you're going to learn enough HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React in order to get your first job as a frontend developer. Now, that is a massive, hairy goal, and it's probably going to take you several months to complete this path. However, doing this is the best investment you can make in yourself. Perhaps it's the best investment of your life. And I can say that because I've done this myself, and it changed my life. In 2014, I was a failed founder of a startup, and at the time I didn't know what to do as I didn't feel that I had a lot of opportunities within technology, which is where I wanted to work. I wanted to stay in the tech industry. So I learned to code. It took 5 months, and then I got a job as a front-end developer, which I worked for about a year. And during that time, I saw my opportunities explode. Suddenly, I had gone from having very few options into being in demand, and I could pick and choose between a lot of good opportunities that lay ahead of me. And the best opportunity I got was to join Scrimba as a co-founder, so that we could help give other people the same opportunity to learn how to code and to change their lives. However, I'm not saying that you necessarily want to learn how to code in order to start a startup yourself. Your goal might be completely different. Perhaps you want to learn to code so that you can become a freelancer and travel around the world while working on your laptop. That's fully possible. Or maybe you want to secure a good paying job so that you can work your way towards financial independence. Or maybe you simply want to make your ideas come to life, to turn your thoughts into products that solve real world problems, because that's what you can do when you know how to code. And that is a superpower. JavaScript is a superpower. And I would actually say that it's the ultimate superpower these days. Because just think about it. Every single day, there are billions of people who use apps that are powered by JavaScript, as every single web app uses JavaScript. However, the number of people who actually know JavaScript are in the low millions. So almost by definition, you have a superpower when you are in this group down here. And as basically all industries today are forced to work with JavaScript one way or another, since they are forced to work with the web one way or another, it's not a surprise that you become in demand once you know JavaScript and web development. So if you are ready to become a part of this group of people who know how to manipulate the digital world around us, then let's get started with the front-end developer career path. Okay, so now you're going to mess around with a cake website so that you learn how to use the Scrimba platform. Because Scrimba is not like regular videos. What you see in front of you here is actually real code, meaning that you, as the student, at any given time, can pause the screencast, jump into the code, and change it. And you're going to do that again and again throughout the career path, so it's important that you know how to do it. And you're going to get 2 challenges in order to learn all of this. And for the first one, your job is to make sure that the egg, which you can see right here, becomes a little bit more excited to be a part of this cake recipe. Because as you can see right now, it kind of shakes as if it's scared every time you hover over it. Like, brrr. So how can you turn this into an excited egg instead of a scared egg? Well, the answer might be found down here, because here you can actually see that we have the egg in the code as well. It's wrapped inside these weird tags, which you don't need to worry a second about right now. It's not expected that you understand what's going on here. But as you can see, it says class equals scared. And your job is to simply change it from scared to excited. You are then to run the code by clicking this icon right here, the refresh icon. And then you're going to hover over the egg and verify that something has changed. And finally, resume back to the screencast, to me, by clicking on the play button, which is in the bottom left corner. And just to give you a little heads up about what will happen when you start solving this challenge, what you'll see is that the entire background changes a little bit. It gets a slightly different background color. And also, you'll see that something appears on the timeline. If we zoom in a little bit on that, this signals that you've created a so-called note at that point in the timeline. And if you hit the green icon, you'll save your note so that you have it next time you return to the screencast. And if you want to delete it, you can just hit this red X icon. So now I want you to hit the pause button, jump into the code, and follow these 4 instructions. Go ahead and do that right now. Okay, hopefully that went really well. Now let's do this together. We're simply going to change this from scared to excited. We're then going to hit the refresh button and then hover over the egg, and boom, as you can see, the egg now jumps up and down in excitement. Really good job solving that challenge. Now let's move on to the second challenge. But before that, I just want to point out as well that if you ever want to go back to your note, you can see your note is highlighted as a little yellow dot on the timeline. And when you click that, you return back to your note. Okay, so here is the second challenge. It is located in the index.js, meaning that we're working with JavaScript, and you probably feel as frightened as the egg did previously when you see this piece of code right here, because it is indeed scary. But again, don't worry a second about that. We are only going to modify the code down here, and all of this stuff up here, you are going to learn later. As for this challenge, you're simply going to change the theme to dark, because as you can see on line 16, it says set theme, and it's passing in light. So your job is to instead pass in dark, and then run the code with the refresh button to see what happens. So go ahead and do that right now and return back to the screencast when you're done. Okay, hopefully that went well. Now let's do it together. We'll simply change this to dark. We'll run the code, and boom, as you can see, the entire page has now swapped from being in light mode to being in dark mode. Really good job writing your first piece of JavaScript. Finally, before you go, I just want to teach you one more thing so that you become a proper Scrimba master, and that is that you can click on the settings icon in the bottom right corner, and there you can control the font size, the speed, and the volume of the cast. And also, if you want to download the code, you can hit download as zip, and you'll get the code locally on your computer as well. And you can also copy contextual links from the cast. And what that'll do is copy a link to the specific point of time in the timeline you are in. So if you struggle to understand something, maybe an explanation at 3 minutes and 45 seconds out in the cast, you can just hit pause at that point, open this menu, copy contextual link, and share that link with someone who might be able to help you understand the concept. For example, a teacher or a study mate whom you are studying with. That's also a good thing to know about. With that, let's wrap this cast up and move on with the course and start doing some real coding. Now we are going to get you onboarded onto the Scrimba community, because this career path is so much more than just a course. It's also a social experience where you are able to get help, meet like-minded people, and find inspiration. And everything evolves around a chat application called Discord. This is the daily pulse of Scrimba, as it has over 1,000 students online at any given time. And it has channels for all kinds of coding-related subjects. In addition to that, we also arrange several events every single week, like coding competitions, expert interviews, community meetings, live coding sessions, and even a weekly podcast episode. Now, this is all probably a bit overwhelming. However, don't worry about understanding everything right here and right now, as you are going to learn more about all of these things later in the career path. Right now, there's only one thing we need to make sure, and that is that you are properly onboarded onto the Discord community chat. So I want you to click this link right here. Then you'll come to a page which looks something along the lines of this. There you are to fill in your username, complete the registration process, and once you've done that, you will be awarded into Discord. However, you will only see 2 channels to begin with. This generic welcome channel and a unique welcome channel we've created just for you under the onboarding category. Click on that channel and you will see our bot, which is Pumpkin from Scrimba. That is our cat mascot. She will guide you through the steps you need to do in order to set up your account properly. And once Pumpkin has guided you through the entire onboarding, you'll be awarded access to all of the channels. And there's one thing you also need to remember, and that is to introduce yourself in the Introduce Yourself channel. And to make this as easy as possible for you, I've written a skeleton for an introduction message. So what you can do is just replace these dots here and there with your personal information. So you are to tell us your name, where you're from, and also what you are doing, if you're working, if you're not working, or if you're studying, and where you are doing exactly that. Also, tell us a little bit about what you like to do when you're not coding, and then wrap it up on a positive note, saying that you're excited to become a part of this community, choosing whatever positive word you want to use to describe the community. And of course, swap out these emojis with emojis you prefer to use. Once you've done that, you will see tons of people reacting to that message, essentially welcome you into the community. I myself will see the message as well. And then whenever you want to get back to the Scrimba community, you can just check out your dashboard at scrimba.com/dashboard. And there you can click on this widget to get back to Discord. So just make sure you click this link and complete this onboarding process. And once you're back here, you are going to get your hands dirty coding your very first web app.